Hello and welcome. This is Shanna today for Pixi Dust Designs, and I'm here with a new project featuring the new Love 6x6 paper pad, the new typewriter die set, and the previously released Kisses gift card box. I am going to be grabbing a piece of this pattern paper to use as the background for a card that will work as an interactive typewriter with a pull-out sheet, and of course a spot to slip some sweet treats or money. So after gathering supplies, I have some pattern paper, some metallic paper. From the Kisses gift card box, I'm really just going to grab the box that is meant to hold the Hershey Kisses or a chapstick or some money, and then the coordinating stitched rectangles that go with it. I have some light pink cardstock that I'm going to be die cutting that out of. And then I love this die because it gives me all of the score lines as well. From the pattern paper, I'm going to take those stitched rectangles and die cut those for decoration. I did cut out the word Kisses using that metallic paper, but I didn't end up using it in my final project. So as you can see, the box die cuts beautifully, and I am able to just crease along those score lines, and I burnish it a little bit with my bone folder. And then I just have to put some adhesive on the flaps, and my box is all complete. The folding works beautifully, and I don't have to worry about measuring. That's one of my favorite things about using dies in my crafting. So I'm using some wet adhesive, but you could easily use score tape or similar to make that stick. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere the decorative pieces from that pattern paper pack. And you can tell there's two different sizes. I just need it on the front of my box and on the top and bottom. The back side is going to be glued to my card base, so you won't ever see it. So I don't actually add anything there to conserve my pattern paper, but I do add some to the three sides that would be visible. I'll set that aside to dry, and now it's time to assemble my typewriter. I cut multiples out of the typewriter base, including a colored top, and then as you can see, I have all of the little detail pieces that assemble to create this. So my typewriter face, I'm guessing is what I will call it, where you would have all your typewriter keys, I die cut in red, and I'm going to put it on this metallic copper background, and I love how it makes it look like I have copper keys. Then I have all of the little accent pieces also cut out in that same coppery metallic. I like the little bit of shimmer it added to the project. For the interactive portion of my card, I'm taking this typewriter, and I want that die cut piece to be able to slide in and out and be able to fully removed. So I'm gluing this piece over because this is where it goes, but I'm not gluing all the way across because I want it to actually slide. Then I will go ahead and attach the keys. I guess those aren't keys. What are, I don't know, the fan piece and then the key front. And then you have the levers and some extra little pieces that will also come on. Then I get to actually create the interactive portion where I have my slider. I love how all of the little knobs and everything have pieces too. I did grab one of my pickup sticks to help me glue those just because it lets me place it on there and get it on there just right. So here is where I started planning the interactive portion where I needed to create the slider channel for this note card. I ended up popping up that metallic bar just to give some added maneuverability for while I design this, and then I later glue it back down. So I need to create some channels across both sides and across the bottom as a stopper. The best way I decided I wanted to do this is by taking the actual shape of the typewriter and gluing, I believe I glued 3 or 4 of these all together, so I had some extra stability and the thickness I needed for the channel. You could, in addition, do this with foam tape or scrap cardstock. I just liked the idea of having the exact shape along the sides, so I didn't have to try and have any gaps or anything like that. So I glue all of these together, and then I'm going to cut them in to my channels, which I'll bring over a ruler and be able to mark out my lines, knowing where I wanted to go. So first I'm just kind of lightly penciling, and then I'm using a T ruler so I can have the lines square with the typewriter. So I'm just drawing lines so I know where I'm going to cut, and then I'll come in with an X-Acto knife or a craft knife and cut those lines straight. After I have all 3 pieces cut, I can attach them to yet another typewriter base, just so I have the channels created to slide, or even a pocket if you will, to slide that note card into. So I'm gluing them and just lining them up with that same exact shape, and I will know they're in the perfect spot in order for that piece of paper or note card to slide in and out of. Now I'll go ahead and test and make sure that note card fits. I did burnish it just to make sure that glue has a super smooth bond and that everything is adhered. As you can tell, it fits perfect. Now I decided I didn't like how flimsy my cardstock was. I could have used either a thicker cardstock, but in this case I just doubled it. So I just glued them straight to each other, and now I have a more stable piece to slide in and out. So as you can tell, it's going to slide right in and out of that pocket. It does give me a little trouble getting in right at the beginning, but after it's lined up in that channel, it won't have as big a deal. And it slides perfect to its stopping point. So it won't slide all the way through the feet, so it's not going to come out the bottom, but it still gets to peek out the top. After playing with it for just a little bit, I did decide to shorten it just a little bit so it didn't stick too far out the top, and it did make it fit on my card front a little better. To do this, I just drew the straight line and used my scissors. You could alternatively use a craft knife or a paper trimmer, but my scissors were handy and right there for me to use, so that's what I grabbed. Now you can see it still pops just out the top of this typewriter, but it's not extended out so far that it's going to either take up too much room on my card or look a little funny, in my perspective anyways. You could leave it at full size and it wouldn't be a problem. So I am just gluing everywhere that note card doesn't touch. This is what's going to glue to those channels that we created earlier for the depth and hold it all together. Now to assemble my card, I took an A2 card base of pink cardstock and my box that we created earlier for the sweet treats, but decided I needed something to ground it a little bit. So I took a piece of the same note pad of paper, the Love paper pad, and grabbed the polka dots so I could just ground that typewriter a little bit in the background. I had also grabbed a piece of solid in case I wanted a border, but I don't believe I ended up using it. So now I'm just going to add in the typed notes, and there is 4 words that come in with this. The words are love, hello, and be mine. Super cute for Valentine's. I chose to die cut them out of red cardstock to go with my Valentine's color scheme, and just glued them straight to that piece of note card. Now all I have left to do is finish assembling, And to do that, I'm going to add that polka dot piece across the bottom and put the treat box right on top. I do plan on putting some Hershey Kisses in this box. It's going to be super cute to give it Valentine's. And then I'm just going to set that typewriter right onto the card base as well. I debated adding it with foam tape, but at the end I decided I wanted it flush with the card. And that wraps up my project for today. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay in touch for more future videos. Have a great day. Bye-bye.